Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, this week being spring break, my 12-year-old daughter, of course, we want to make sure we can go someplace and have a little bit of fun. We went to the coast, right? We love it there. Born and raised, going there constantly in a number of different areas. We spent our time between Tillamook and Seaside, anyway, all over the place. Had a ton of fun. The weather was perfect, and then, of course, things changed midweek very, very quickly. But we had a great time over there. Can't thank Kevin and Marion enough for letting us stay at their house for a couple of days there. We really appreciate that. But overall, I had a chance to see a bunch of friends, meet some new friends. Pineapple, if you're out there, Rodney as well. Sir, again, thank you for your service as a Marine. But met a lot of the fans of the show there as well. So we had a great time. But overall, reports from this week. Oh, I did do a little perch fishing on an outgoing tide. So no fish. But we tried. We were there. We were like, might as well give it a go. My buddy Richie and I, and unfortunately that didn't pan out, but at least we tried. Overall reports, though, from around here, if it's steelhead, not very good. Spring Chinook fishing, even worse, and that's just because of the conditions. We'll get to that in a minute. But the conditions are less than bad on the Willamette in particular, and the Columbia just seems like it's deteriorating quickly, and it also being full of smelt does not help at all. I mean, absolutely full of smelt. Now, I've been around a little while. I've been paying attention to what's going on in the Columbia for a minute or two, and I don't recall hearing about huge waves of smelt all the way up by Bonneville Dam. Now, that's very interesting. At least for me, it was very interesting to hear of that many smelt above the Sandy. What in the world are they doing up there? So there's a lot of smelt around, and that opener on the Sandy on Thursday, which I was unaware of until Wednesday evening that was even going to happen, was crazy. I mean, there were more people than, I mean, it was an absolute zoo, and pretty much everybody got their fish. So it was certainly a really good opportunity. The question has been, are they going to open it up again? I don't know. They haven't said anything, and at the very least, it was a very successful noon to 7 o'clock dip fishery on the Sandy. It was very simple for the vast majority of folks that were out there. So hopefully everybody had a chance to enjoy that, because it does not happen every year, obviously. But in the end, we're going to get a report here in just a little bit on what the Columbia looks like today, but it's been very, very slow out there. Number of questions about extensions, this and that. Nobody knows. We're not going to know, up until the point of them having an update, a run update. So I would still assume it's going to close on the 6th. But as of yesterday, at the very least, we haven't even touched our quota below Bonneville Dam. So we'll kind of have to see how things go here in the next week or two on what their decision ultimately is, if they're going to give us an extension. So cross your fingers. That's what I'm hoping for, because my boat shows up on Monday, and then I got to get all my electronics done. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out there before the 6th. I'm hoping to, at least for a day, but it'll be tough to tell. But here's the photos that I got this week from the folks over there at Willie, and this was just the beginning of the completion of the sled. If you've been in this kind of situation before, it gets pretty exciting after 8 months, 9 months of finally getting to the point where they get to hang the motor and start finishing everything off down there at the factory. And I hope that picture comes off better on screen. But that's what it's going to look like, that full bow wrap. I just think it's gorgeous, personally. It's going to hide well, at least for a little while. The question was, what's the size? It's a 2184. So I went from another 24, which I don't know why I did that a couple of years ago, back down to a smaller boat. So I'm looking forward to having that. But yeah, definitely going to be. I can't wait to see it. It'll be up here on Monday, and then hopefully have a chance to get this thing out on the water this upcoming week. But that's where she's at. Photos got kind of discombobulated there. But at the very least, yeah, Willie Boats, they make a beautiful one. This will be my third one, at least in my career of chasing fish around with nice sleds. Willamette, no fish crossed yet. Totally normal. I don't know why they would even come anywhere near the falls right now. It's basically flat when you go by the falls right now. But a couple of decent days, kind of a start there. for the Chinook going over Bonneville Dam. Totally normal. I didn't look at the 10-year this week. Last week, at the very least, it was still very much normal. Right at the bottom of the line. So with 56 fish over the dam, it would kind of lead you to think that based on the very, very low retention rate below Bonneville, that there would be a discussion for that extension. But who knows? You really can't keep up with how they make their decisions. But at the very least, yeah, that's just where we are as it stands now. The turbidity on the Willamette, though, has gone down. Now, is it optimal? No. Is it fishable? Yeah, right? I mean, it's in the 15s. You want to be usually 11 and under. So was it off color? Yeah, I did get a couple reports this morning from the river. There's some folks out there chasing them around. It's going to have to be one of those things where you know, kind of smack one in the face. We'll find out from Bruce what the Columbia actually looks like, but we were told, at least I was told yesterday, that it was still even above the Willamette River. Not looking very pretty, but we'll find out what Bruce's thoughts are on that, and he's really, really good at it out there, so we'll see what his take is on it. Willamette is expected to start to drop. We'll find out from Peyton Major here in just a little bit what that weather is going to be like this upcoming week. It doesn't seem like it's going to start blowing anything out. Looks like things are starting to come back into shape after being out for quite a while. But with this bounce on the Columbia, that's where you're going to see that clarity even above the Willamette starting to go out. And it does look like it's going to turn over relatively quickly. But none of that actually leans to having a real successful week before they close things down again on the 6th. But when you take a look at some of the local rivers, either inland or along the coast, they are dropping down into good conditions. Not a lot of people are going to be chasing steelhead anymore for obvious reasons. It's the end of March, but I will. I'm certainly going to at least try to get out a couple of times this week before the sled's done. But if you do get out there, you know, rivers are turning over, and some of them, even a little bit further more towards the southern part of the coastline, are turning over a little bit faster than what they had expected. Now, fishermen's every year does a spring Chinook Derby. I believe that started yesterday, or at least this week. But at the very least, it is up and running, and everybody has a ton of fun with this. The winter steelhead derby is over. If you have that luck to actually land one of these things, make sure you take it in, enter it in. You might not think a 10, 12, 15 pounder might put you into some of the prizes, but based on spring Chinook and what they can actually be like these days, you never know. You might have that opportunity to win. Also, the CCA's got a banquet coming up. We love to be able to get these out here, especially for the Willamette Falls division or arm of it, or whatever you call it. They've got a banquet coming up on April 5th. That is Saturday. And if you want to go over there and hang out with the folks that you're already members with the CCA, or maybe you just want to join for the first time, you can also do that at the banquet as well. Also, for myself, I've talked about Ducks Unlimited before, but I'm still going to absolutely try to support them as best we can. And they do also have a banquet that is coming up the 26th of April as well. And don't forget, send Jason an email over at procare.com, and you'll be entered in to win that weekly prize pack that they give away each week. And of course, right now, it is slanted towards spring Chinook, or for any Chinook species as we go forward. Now, Peyton, forgive me, my voice is terrible.
That's okay.
But that's the cost of doing live television. But we do look like we got a little bit of water still coming at us.
Yeah, oh, and I'm glad you went to the coast when it was beautiful, because, yeah, I looked at Seaside, I think, Wednesday. Couldn't even find a spot on the coast there. Okay, rain forecast next 5 days. We got a pretty active week, but I will say these graphics make it look a lot more intense than it will actually be. So we've started to dry out this morning. There was a good chunk of rain that passed through overnight into kind of the wee hours of the day. 44 right now, and honestly, a lot of us are dry. We have leftover showers lingering from that area of low pressure that brought us the same storms Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, and now we're just kind of getting whatever's left over, which isn't much. Longview has a little quick moving shower, and then the coast and coast range, I think the western facing slopes may get a couple drizzles here or there, but mainly dry as we go throughout the rest of the day. Highs today are going to be in the mid 50s for most, and again, I really really think this afternoon is going to be that key time if you do want to get outside. We have a chunk of dry time before our next round rolls in, which is actually coming shortly. So 6 p.m. tonight, even a little peaks of sunshine there up and down the valley and I-5 corridor. And then when we get to tomorrow, I think we're going to wake up with some high-level clouds, and as the day progresses, we'll see those shower chances increase coming from the south. And so if you're in the Central Valley, is likely going to see that around 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then inching northwards around 3 or 4 p.m. And then those Cascade areas are still going to get a little bit of light snow. Our next system, that's what's bringing the rain late Sunday, actually mainly impacts us on Monday. And so this is a very similar system to last week, but just a little bit weaker. So when those showers arrive, we think they're going to kind of come in waves throughout the day, late Sunday into Monday. Southerly flow, and if you're a good Fox 12 weather nerd like me, southerly flow means that we can't rule out a little isolated storm at times because of that warm kind of humid air. So all in all, we're not expecting a ton of rain. Like I said, it looks more intense. We're only expecting maybe 3/10 of an inch, a little more along the coast. A lot of those showers are going to stay into California. Now the back end of that system is going to continue to bring us kind of waves of showers on and off through next week, and so that's why you're going to see those rain icons all the way through about Thursday. I do think Thursday might be trending a little wetter with the latest model runs, and then Friday, dry. I think this is our hint of a little bit of sunshine, drier weather. A couple models even hinting at some upper 60s, low 70s next weekend for that first little bit of April. So lots to talk about, but definitely stay with us on Monday to see if there's any storms popping up.
Well, looks good to me. Finish the month off with some rain and then maybe a little bit of spring-like weather as we get into April. That's perfect. Peyton, thank you as always. All right, we're going to cut to a break, everyone. When we come back, we're going to have Mr. Bruce Pauly from the CCA Oregon. He's one of our most requested interviews by a long shot. Today, though, we're going to talk with him live from the Columbia River. He's chasing salmon out there as we speak. We'll find out what it's like out there real time and what the CCA's got going on in the support of hatcheries this upcoming week. We'll be right back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.